Hello, Driving Intelligence community. This is going to be a much more extensive review of the Valvoline Restore and Protect product than I've done in the past. I've made several videos that are in a playlist linked in the description of this video, but I really wanted to share everything I've learned about this oil over 8,500 miles of use in a 10th generation 2002 F-150 with the 5.4 two-valve engine. Sometime early last year, I saw an advertisement from Valvoline that claimed that this oil will bring engines back to factory clean conditions up to 100%. And it specifically showed a piston and the piston rings, and it just kind of blew my mind. I thought, this is too good to be true, but it's also too good to pass up. So I decided to go ahead and test it in this F-150. Now, I'm not into new vehicles. That's why I'm really trying to stretch out the capability of this truck and its longevity. I've got 266,000 miles on it. I wouldn't hesitate to drive it across country. That's how much I trust it, especially with proper maintenance. And I feel like if this oil is true to form, true to commitment, then it should help me get even better performance out of it and more longevity. I don't have a fleet of new vehicles. I got 4 old vehicles. The newest one is a 2006 Cadillac CTS-V with the LS2 V8 engine. So that's going on almost 20 years old now. So I felt like this is pertinent to me. It may be pertinent to you. I'm sure there are a lot of people that watch my channel that realize that I'm trying to extend the life of my vehicles, and you probably are too, including actually just upgrading and modernizing my vehicles up to the 21st century. So I'm going to cover a broad range of topics. The first of which, I just want to make a point that this is an ILSAC GF6A and API SP certified oil. So it can be used in a broad range of vehicles, but it is not DEXOS compliant, something that I think GM implemented somewhere around the 2011 range. And there might be other vehicles out there that are not compliant with this oil, so you need to check your specs before you use it. But for me, it works perfectly. Valvoline has other oils that work with DEXOS requirements, so you can check those out. But and I'm not talking about specifically Valvoline. You can go to other manufacturers. I think Pennzoil is a good product. I used to use Royal Purple. So there are a lot of good products out there. I'm just really trying to stretch out what I can get out of this Valvoline product. I'm going to cover a broad range of subjects, and one of those is my objective, which I'll cover right now. This engine is notorious, in the F-150 is notorious for piston slap. And I thought I could reduce piston slap by releasing the rings. I'm thinking that the rings are stuck after many miles of use. The previous owner's maintenance techniques or methods may not have been as good as mine. And if the rings are locked into the lands, then it could cause some piston instability and can contribute to piston slap. I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm crazy trying to fix piston slap with an oil, but go do some research and find out that stuck rings can contribute to piston slap, and I'm going to talk about that later in this video, what my results are. But I also wanted to know if it would reduce oil consumption. Of course, if you release the rings and you got better sealing in the cylinder, you're going to have less blow-by, so you should have reduced oil consumption, and I'm going to definitely talk about that. The other topics I want to talk about are going to be a Blackstone test. So I took this oil after my second oil change. I sent it off to Blackstone, a reputable oil analysis company, and they sent me back the results. I'm going to talk about what they found with this and what the condition of my engine is using this oil. I'm going to give you some seat of the pants observations. I'm going to talk about varnish and sludge and varnish versus sludge. And I definitely have some varnish issues with this engine. We're going to see where we are with that. And then I'm going to get into viewer comments. So again, it's a pretty broad video, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like, and share. Please also subscribe. And if you don't mind, if you get a chance and you feel so inclined, hit that super thanks and drop a few bucks in my direction to help my channel. It'll help me grow and provide more higher quality videos. So let's get into the details. As mentioned in the intro, my 266,000 mile 10th gen F-150 4x4 has piston slap, but I don't have piston slap with my 10th gen HD F-150 of the same year. Both trucks have the 5.4 two-valve engine, but the difference is I bought the HD F-150 off the showroom floor and I performed religious maintenance on this vehicle. I bought the 4x4 used with 165,000 miles on the clock, and I guess the maintenance performed by the previous owner was not the best. My piston slap issue is not that bad. It's a racket at startup and then quiets down and is whisper quiet once the engine is slightly warmed up. Here's what the piston slap sounded like before the restore and protect. You can clearly hear the piston slap quickly reduce as the engine warms. Here is the same engine after about 5,000 miles using the Valvoline Restore and Protect product. The reduction in piston slap since I started using Valvoline Restore and Protect is obvious. I feel confident Restore and Protect released sticky rings that were contributing to instability of the piston, causing the slapping noise. I'm hoping with continued use of this product, the piston slap noise will continue to fade. A reduction in oil consumption is the most objective measure I have of the benefits of using Valvoline Restore and Protect. And this by itself is why I will continue to use this product in all of my vehicles. I mentioned in the intro that stuck rings cause blow-by. Also, the age and mileage of this engine causes wear of the rings and cylinders, contributing to blow-by and oil consumption. After only 2,225 miles, I saw a 10.1% reduction in oil consumption, but after 8,500 miles, the improvement increased to an impressive 49% reduction in oil consumption. This has to be the result of Restore and Protect cleaning and releasing the rings from the ring lands, providing for better cylinder sealing. I now can drive 1,600 miles before I need to add a quart of oil. That result speaks for itself. Let's dive into the Blackstone oil analysis. Sampled at the second oil change after 5,000 miles, and that makes a total of 8,500 miles using this oil. The 4.3 quarts of makeup oil, down 49% as I just mentioned, dilutes results, skewing readings. Total base number, TBN, is 3.8, above 2.0, but boosted by fresh makeup oil's additives. It's not a true measure of acid neutralization. Wear metals, iron at 12 parts per million, aluminum at 6, and copper at 2 appear low versus 5.4 liter averages, but again, makeup oil dilution hides actual wear. No fuel in the sample shows minimal blow-by, again suggesting improved piston ring sealing. As I previously mentioned, piston slap with this engine is a problem, and that is confirmed by Blackstone. But Valvoline's cleaning properties must have dissolved varnish and freed stuck rings, reducing slap and oil burning, as heard in the quieter audio clips shared earlier. The additive package, calcium, magnesium, zinc, and phosphorus, are strong, but these are also propped up by the makeup oil. It's possible that Valvoline seal conditioners rejuvenated valve stem seals, reducing oil seepage through the valve guides, and supporting the oil consumption drop of 49%, but I can't confirm that in this video. Really, a key observation, or my observation, is going to be seat of the pants. And I think that you're going to probably sense that as well if you've got an old engine or an old vehicle like mine. Before using Valvoline Restore and Protect, when I'd run the engine up to 2,500 RPMs in neutral, it would just vibrate and feel old, feel loose. Felt like the valve train was loose, or maybe the pistons were loose, but it just didn't feel like everything inside the engine was working tightly together. Well, that's changed dramatically since I've started using the Valvoline Restore and Protect. Of course, not day one. I think it was been a few thousand miles, several thousand miles before that happened. But at 2,500 RPMs in neutral, I don't have the same problem. The engine just feels so much tighter. It feels good, and I have so much more confidence out of the engine. I don't think that's because necessarily the Valvoline Restore and Protect is a better lubricating oil, because I've used Royal Purple and Pennzoil in the past, and they're both excellent oils. I just think maybe it is because it's truly removing deposits, and it's allowing all the parts to move much more freely than they did previously. So the next section of this video is sludge and varnish, and we're going to get into that a little bit to see if we can confirm that through a borescope that I've gotten from a company that I'll link below that allows me to take some snapshots and video. So let's get into it. Now, let's tackle sludge and varnish. Engine wreckers due to poor maintenance. Varnish is a sticky brown film coating engine parts formed when oil oxidizes under heat. It binds rings and valves, spiking friction to sap power, and traps heat, cutting fuel economy. Varnish traps dirt, setting the stage for sludge, a thick black gunk that clogs oil passages, starving the pump and bearings of lubrication, overworking the engine, slashing power, and spiking wear. Even low-mileage engines show significant varnish and sludge buildup from skipped oil changes. Regular oil changes fight these engine killers. So now let's see what my borescope uncovered from my use of Valvoline Restore and Protect. I bought my 2002 F-150 from the previous owner with 165,000 miles on the odometer and no maintenance history. When I opened it up to replace the timing chain, I noticed varnish all over the valve train. Since purchasing this truck, I've been religious about maintenance and especially oil changes. First, I want to show what my other vehicles look like with proper maintenance, starting with my 32,000 mile 2002 Harley-Davidson F-150. As I mentioned, this truck, since I bought it new off the showroom floor, has seen regular and routine maintenance with high-quality oils. For the most part, for a long time, I was using the Royal Purple oil, which I've been sold on for a long time. Then I moved to Pennzoil, Ultra Platinum, and I just started using the Valvoline Restore and Protect. But you can see that this engine is absolutely spotless, and that's because I use quality oil with regular oil changes. I've never used a borescope on this engine before, and these video results are very encouraging to me because this truck is pretty much a garage queen. It never sees inclement weather. I just drive it around town. So this tells me that the oil that I have been using has been very effective even with the predominantly short trips I've taken with this truck. My Cadillac CTS-V was bought used at 45,000 miles and now has over 100,000 miles on the odometer. This car has seen regular oil changes using Royal Purple and Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, and the engine is spotless, showing the benefit of regular maintenance using quality oil. My 85 Mustang SVO with a factory turbocharged engine is at 87,000 miles and is also spotless, again showing the benefit of routine oil change intervals. Now let's take a look at the F-150 I've been talking about. Valvoline claims their Restore and Protect product will remove varnish and sludge. The borescope does not confirm this after 10,000 miles using this product. The engine continues to show signs of significant varnish. This in contrast to the dramatically reduced oil consumption I'm experiencing since using this oil. Restore and Protect seems to have improved the function of the rings, better sealing the combustion chamber, but it has not cleaned the internals of the engine. As of the release of this video, I have not reached 4 oil change intervals using Restore and Protect. Once I get to the 5th oil change, I'll provide another update using the borescope linked in the description of this video. Now viewer comments. I've got several videos out there on the Valvoline Restore and Protect oil, which is very popular on the internet right now. A lot of videos being pushed out for the Valvoline Restore and Protect oil. And I've got a lot of comments. Seems like there are a lot of people that are very interested in what's going on with this oil and also wanted to share their results. So I would say that 95% plus, I haven't counted because there are just so many, but 95% plus of the comments are extremely positive, with the majority noting a quieter, smoother engine. Then I've also had a significant number of comments that have experienced something similar to me, which is a dramatic reduction in oil consumption. So that definitely confirms what I've been experiencing. So like I said, over 95% are positive. Then I've got a few comments about, for example, the engine's leaking oil after starting to use the Valvoline Restore Protect. And my only guess is that the oil dislodged a lot of sludge. It was actually probably providing some form of sealing to the gaskets and seals, and the oil started leaking. I can tell you that I did confirm through Valvoline Restore and Protect and through Blackstone, as I mentioned before, that they do have additives that actually rejuvenate the seals. So there's no concern about this oil actually degrading the seals. And that has been a few other comments where people were concerned that the oil is so effective at cleaning that it will actually destroy seals. That's not the case. And then I guess I've had a few other comments where the engines were so filthy that where these people used the Valvoline Restore and Protect, dislodged a massive amount of sludge, plugged up the oil filter, and the engine started running very poorly. They pulled the oil filter, replaced it, and the engine started running well again. So So, there's a full cross section here. I guess the summary of this video is that this oil is effective at doing what Valvoline commits that it will do. At least from my perspective, it is cleaning the rings and the ring lands. As you saw in the last section, it is not cleaning the internals of the engine. I still have a lot of varnish in there, but I am again still only at I'm in the middle of my third oil change, and Valvoline says you got to go through 4 oil changes in order to get the full benefit. So I'm gonna do further updates. They won't be as broad as this one because I think this one is pretty comprehensive. But what I would like to do is see if I get further oil consumption reduction, and also see if I get a cleaner engine using the borescope, going into the engine and checking out the internals, and hopefully that's going to get closer to what my other 3 engines look like. I'm looking forward to your comments. Hopefully you've gotten some benefit out of this. Let me know what you think about it, or if you've got some experience with Valvoline Restore and Protect, or if there's something else you'd like to know about this oil that I can put in future videos. And I'll see you next time on Driving Intelligence.